I got involved in Twilight way before it was actually popular. I read it in probably 7th grade, so it was several years ago.
Don't really remember how I started reading Twilight. I just got a hold of it and I just consumed the books like a crazy person.
I stayed up all night reading it. I loved the books.
Every time book came out, first one there, got my book, sat there, read for like 5 hours straight. I'd be done with it. Then I'm like, oh, okay, all right, just wait another year. The next book's gonna come out.
I saw them at like a book fair and I was like, Mom, can I get those? She's like, I don't think those really are appropriate for your age. So she made me wait, and I read them at the beginning of 7th grade. And like right after I finished them, that's when everybody was like, oh, Twilight's coming out as a movie, and that's when everybody started getting all obsessed with it.
I wanted Edward as a relationship. I will totally admit at that time, that is literally, I mean, I guess you could say, oh, you know, teenage girls really aren't going to think that. But when I was in 7th grade, I really did want a relationship like that.
He's protective and he's handsome and he loves her for who she is. He doesn't really care about what she looks like.
It's unhealthy, and it's not the way things are supposed to be. And with young kids reading this, they think, oh, well, a man's supposed to be in charge because he's manly and he's strong and he's tough, when that's not how it should be.
I knew such thing as dating violence occurred, but I kind of thought, oh, it doesn't happen to that many people.
Unhealthy relationships are about control and power. In a healthy relationship, you should feel safe with the person that you're with. You should love the person that you're with. You should know that they respect your opinion and that you respect theirs, and you should be equals.
I wanted, you know, someone who was caring, who would be kind of a little possessive, so I would feel really cared about and special. And
Jacob and Edward kind of push and pull at Bella, and she's just kind of like this object to them.
Mothers are like, oh, I want this relationship for you because Bella and Edward wait for marriage to have sex.
He treats her like kind of like an item, like he has to protect her, and
he controls her, and she can grumble all she wants and she can refuse all she wants.
He won't let her go to her own car. He's like, you need to get in my car right now, and if you try to go to your own car, I'll just drag you back, because he's faster than she is and he's stronger than she is.
I was mentally calculating my chances of reaching the truck before he could catch me. I had to admit, they weren't good. I'll just drag you back, he threatened, guessing my plan.
She's worried about one of her friends and she wants to go see him, and she gets into her car and he's there because it won't start, and then she looks over and he's sitting in the passenger side, and he's like, I don't want you to go see him.
He dismantles her car so she can't see her friends. She has to escape from him to go see Jacob.
He's really controlling and kind of obsessive about her.
Then there's other characters with relationships that are also unhealthy. There's Sam and Emily, and one of them is a werewolf and one of them is not. And one day Sam loses control of his temper and claws her face off, basically. And she stays with him.
Now that I look back, I think on it, yeah, it is inappropriate. Some of the stuff in it, getting more into the later books, it gets more sexual between Edward and Bella, and that's not something that young kids should be reading because they're not at that point in life yet.
I do like the books when you think of them as fantasy, when you think of them as this is just a way to pass the time, this is an entertaining kind of thing to read.
They're seeing the examples in the movie, and they're even too young to have boyfriends yet. They still think boys have cooties, and then they see these movies and they're like, oh, well, he's the perfect boy, because that's what the books and the movies portray him as.
I was not recognizing things that should clearly be signs. You know, that's not what you want in a relationship. I didn't recognize those signs.
But then once I was done with the whole series and really looking back on it, it's kind of messed up. The book's central characters, Edward and Bella, have a horrible relationship. abusive, it's controlling, it's based on jealousy.
They make Bella so that young girls put themselves in as Bella, and that's kind of what I did because, you know, I was only like 12.
This is not exactly what young kids should be reading, and that it's very kind of toxic to the idea of a healthy relationship.
It's fiction, it's fantasy, there's no such thing as vampires or werewolves, and this is just more for your entertainment. Like, you shouldn't think this is real. Like, you shouldn't like let your mind think, oh, I want to find someone like Edward who's like, he's like mysterious and he's like really super perfectly handsome and everything like that.
And that's what I really hope that young kids realize, is that this isn't reality and it shouldn't be reality. And I hope parents have a discussion with their child and tell them what a healthy relationship is about.